up, everyone? This is Ben Zinn with NextLevelGuitar.com. Thank you so much for joining us today. We have some quick hitter licks and riffs inspired by Black Sabbath today. We're going to have a lot of fun, detuned, heavy stuff. Going to give you some little nuggets that you can try out at home. So let's jump in and check them out. I do want to mention that I am detuned. Much like many Black Sabbath records, I am a step and a half down. So we're going to take each of our strings and detune them 1.5 steps to get the sound that we're after today. Of course, these examples will work in any key. One of the things with Tony Iommi and with Sabbath is the guitar tone is so distinctive. And so just a couple of quick notes on how to achieve that tone. Humbucker style guitar is going to help if you have one. And I'm in the neck position. That's where he parked his SG quite a bit. And so I have a different guitar, but I can get in the ballpark here with a humbucker style guitar in the neck position. And a fuzz pedal really helps too. A fuzz pedal, if you have one instead of an overdrive or just amp overdrive, is really going to get you there. But those elements, humbucker, neck position, fuzz pedal, that'll definitely get you where you want to go. Okay, so let's jump right in. Here is example number 1. Break this lick down into sections. Let's start with the opening piece here. What we're doing to jump into this is we're going to hammer on from the 5th fret of the 5th string into the 7th fret of the 5th string, and we're going to keep the 6th string open alongside of that. That's where we get a lot of that meat of that riff from. A lot of great Sabbath inspired riffs start out that way. So we're going to hammer into that, and we're going to toggle back and forth in this sort of rhythm. This will get you going. So you'll notice that the rhythm there, and I want to keep this loose for all you guys out there. We're doing inspired by riffs, so you can take this and make it your own. But basically, I'm just working those 2 notes, and I'm trying to keep that Black Sabbath sort of swung feel to it, right? The and then for the part 2 of that riff, all I did was come up here to the 5th fret of string 4 at 5th fret and 7th fret, and just toggle between those 2 notes. And I worked my way back to the E here, we'll call it, even though it's detuned. So that kind of gives us a nice foundation to build on. And again, you can tweak that to your own tastes. That's kind of what I did. I listened to a bunch of Sabbath and kind of just was inspired to come up with that kind of vibe. So part 2 of our riff finds us down here more in the open position, kind of playing some E blues scale inspired stuff. What I did in my example was I played this lick here, and that's just the 5th string open, hammering to the 1st fret, and then pulling back off, and then down to the 3rd fret, 6th string. And then following that, I did a triplet lick that went like this. Okay, piecing all of that together now for timing in the second half. Let's slow that down a little bit. So it's a hammer on pull off, pull off, and that leads me back into part 1 of my riff. Now, as you know, a lot of great lead ideas from Tony Iommi and Black Sabbath in the catalog, and we want to help you study this further. There's so many different options and different ways you can go with scale choices and note choices. What we've done is we put together a free video lesson and a corresponding ebook that goes with it that will help you with that lead guitar study. It's really essential for everyday playing. Lots of good tips and tricks. So all you have to do to get that is just click on the link that you see below. Click on that link. We'll send you the free lesson, free corresponding ebook. The second half of this is picking each note, open first, then second of string 5. Then we jump up to the 2nd fret of string 4. Okay, and then we're coming back to the 1st fret of string 5. I'm going to pick and pull off to the open string. And finally close out with the 3rd fret of the 6th string, all together. And that leads you right back into your beginning riff. Our second Iommi-inspired little nugget here, we're going to take an idea from the classic Sabbath tune Paranoid and just switch it up a little bit. In this tune, he makes great use of 2-note power chords on strings 6 and 5. So we're going to start out with that. We're going to jump up here to the 12th fret and just play this 2-note power chord. In that tune, we see that device that he uses where he hammers on from a barred position into the fretted note on the 5th string. And so I got inspired by that to create a whole new riff, and this is something that you could take and do the same. So you're just going to start out barring here the 12th fret at 6 and 5, string 6 and 5, and you're going to hammer onto that note 3 times. Now we're going to move up to the 15th fret, and we're going to play all power chords, but we're going to use that little device at each location. Now to the 10th fret, again, just 3 hammer-ons from the barred position. And then to the 8th fret. So I have 4 chord locations. 12th fret, starting point, 15th fret, 10th fret, and 8th fret. And notice, we're on the 6th string. He took advantage of this, I think, because it's a thicker string and it's a heavier sound. So he liked to live in that world. And you'll notice there is a small difference in tone between that chord and that chord. It's subtle, but it does count. So at any rate, you just put those all together, use that little device, and you have a nice little riff that you can play around with here. So a part 2 for this riff finds us just taking those same power chords and seeing what we can come up with down in the lower register. Here I'm just playing an open E power chord. Just those 2 notes right there. And I moved up to the 6th fret here. And I used that device again where I hammered on from the barred position. And I drop down to the 3rd fret and back up here. So this gives you a part 2 to that first idea. And again, you can move these around any way that you see fit. Okay, our next Sabbath-inspired lick is going to come basically from the idea from the great tune War Pigs during the groove section, where he utilizes this concept so well. He's kind of playing a groove in the lower position, and then answering in the higher position with different fill ideas. And so this next idea was inspired by that. If we take a open position sort of riff or groove that we can repeat, maybe something like this. And we just repeated that, but we went away from it to go into some different ideas in the higher register. That's kind of where we're going to go with this. But first, let's break down the lower portion. We're just playing a 6-string open, and then we're jumping up to string 4. And I'm pulling off from the 2nd fret to the open string. So I'm picking string 6 twice open. Then I'm doing a pull off from the 2nd fret to the open string on string 4. Then I'm going to do a pull off from the 3rd fret of string 6 to the open string. Okay, putting that all together. You can start to develop some rhythmic ideas just using those 2 strings and that riff idea to give you a foundation. Now, once you've established that, you can split it in half and go up into the 12th position and just use your pentatonic or blues scale up here to provide some ingredients for some licks or fills in between the groove idea and the lower register. Some examples might be simple just 2-string hit here on strings 2 and 3. I'm just holding down the 12th fret, barring, and just hitting them once. It can be that easy, but that effective. And each time you change it up a little bit and you have a wealth of stuff to play around with. That last time I just took this note right here, the 12th fret, and I bent the 14th fret up into it to make a unison bend. You hear that a lot in Black Sabbath tunes to great effect. So then it's just pick your poison, right? You're playing down here, and you can just throw in whatever comes to you in the moment. There's another unison bend just in a different spot. That time it was the 12th fret of the 1st string and the 15th fret of the 2nd string. And you bend the lower note into the first one. So you're basically tuning them to match each other. You get that really nice sound there, right? That works really well. Little trill ideas. Hear those all over the place in Sabbath tunes also. So any 2 notes out of that scale, that works as a fill too. So that's 12th fret and 14th fret of string 4. Just rapidly hammering on and pulling off to make that trill sound. And you can do that on any string. You just follow the scale pattern. Works great as a fill also. So I like this idea a lot and was inspired from not only the War Pigs tune, but so many other tunes in Sabbath's catalog where you'd have a groove like that, and then he would just throw a different little piece of ear candy at it, in between. So once again, open position, then answer up high with a fill. All right, you guys, if you want to see more, I encourage you to head over to our website, nextlevelguitar.com. We have more Black Sabbath inspired ideas, lots of fun stuff to play around with. Head over to the website, nextlevelguitar.com. Right now, we have a free 3-day all access pass. We're going to give you a free username and password. You can check out all of the content on the site. Lots of great stuff, Black Sabbath inspired, but every other genre you can think of too. So head over there, nextlevelguitar.com, to see the rest of this lesson. And I want to say thanks everyone for checking out this lesson. Hey, if you dug the lesson, give us a like. Be sure and subscribe to our channel. We'll let you know when we're uploading new content all the time. Leave us a comment below. Once again, this has been Ben Zinn for Next Level Guitar, and I thank you so much. I'll see you next time.